do.
We are aware that counties such as Nairobi, Mombasa, Busia, and Kajiado continue to experience an upsurge of infections, with majority being asymptomatic, and again, lending credence to the need of rolling out and ensuring that our home-based program is practical. The success of this program, nonetheless, will require the active participation of each and every one of us, starting with the patients, to the caregivers at home, our mothers, our sisters, women who we know are the primary caregivers in the home place, and to healthcare providers in both the formal healthcare facilities as well as our community health volunteers. And so we are working to ensure that, again, that the role of the community, the role of you and I, is enhanced as we move forward in the fight against coronavirus. There are the key community structures that we plan to employ, particularly our community health committees. And at this point, I would challenge each Kenyan to really ask themselves, have they engaged with their community health committees? These committees are present across each and every county and are there to facilitate, one, in terms of our community health strategy approach, and now our home-based care approach. We do also have the Nyumba Kumi initiative. We have estate management committees. We've seen a lot of estates come up with innovative mechanisms of controlling this spread of coronavirus. And of course, we have the local administration across the country. This is all part of utilizing our community resources in mitigating against coronavirus. We would like to appeal to all Kenyans to embrace the containment measures because these are crucial in terms of curtailing community spread and suppressing the pandemic. With regard to our current COVID-19 numbers, today we have recorded 59 positive cases from a sample of 2,354 samples tested within the last 24 hours. This therefore brings to total our number of positive cases in the country to 4,797 cases, out of a total number of samples tested so far being 142,366. All the 59 positive cases are Kenyans, with 47 of them male and 12 of them female. The youngest is a 7-year-old and the oldest is 67. With regard to distribution across the counties, we have Nairobi taking the large share at 28, Mombasa at 21, Kilifi at 3, Kiambu at 2, Machakos 2, Kisumu, Bungoma, Uasin Gishu all have 1 case each. And in terms of distribution by sub-county, in Nairobi the cases are 7 from Dagoretti North, Kibra 5, Embakasi East 4, Embakasi North 3, Westlands 3, Embakasi West 2, Embakasi Central 2, Roysambu and Makadara each have 1 case. In Mombasa, of the 21 cases, in Kisauni we have 8, Likoni 5, Mvita 3, Nyali 2, Changamwe 2, Jomvu 1. And in Kilifi, the 3 cases, we have 1 each from Kaloleni, Kilifi North and Kilifi South. And in Kiambu, the 2 cases, 1 from Kiamba and 1 from Thika. In Machakos, we have the case in Athi River. In Kisii, the case in Bobasi. While in Bungoma, the case is in Webuye, and in Uasin Gishu, the case is from Tabo. We are delighted to inform you today that we've discharged 73 more patients from our various hospitals, and this brings the total number of recoveries to 1,680. And we continue to express and share gratitude with our healthcare workers for this commendable work. Unfortunately, however, we have lost 2 other patients from the disease, bringing our total fatalities to 125. And our deep felt condolences and prayers go out to those who have lost their loved ones. And finally, we would like to reiterate on one issue concerning the cross-border truck drivers. We are still experiencing a huge pileup of trucks at our borders, particularly in Busia. And this is caused by drivers who may be flouting our guidelines. And as we stated before, the truck drivers must have a COVID-19 test at least 48 hours before they commence their journey. And this will allow those who test negative to have seamless movement across the border. I do urge all truck drivers and truck owners to cooperate for the free and smooth movement at our borders.
But recent data from WHO actually indicates that despite the fact that these patients test positive, they are not able to transmit the virus to the other person. So this is what actually mitigated the new guidelines that you have in place of 10 days and 3 days of no symptoms. So basically leaving you for discharge after the 14th day. The fact that you show a positive test, the way the test is structured is that even if it's a broken part of the virus, it will still, because it's a target within the virus, the test will pick it as positive. But if you take that specimen and culture it, you will not be able to grow the virus. This is what has made us to change the guidelines, and we hope, as Madam CAS has said, this being a new disease, we need to gather more evidence to be able to inform us going forward. And that is why even when we implement home-based care, we must be able to do it judiciously and cautiously, so that we have the right people who have been given the correct information to ensure that they enforce the guidelines and protocols for success of home-based care. Otherwise, if you just let it be liberal, then you run the chance of actually causing more havoc by causing transmission at the household and community level.